since the pandemic started, everybody seems to have jumped on this let's make bread at home bandwagon, which I did not until about a month ago. I started making my own sourdough bread. So today I'm going to show you a very simple recipe to make your sourdough starter. And then I will show you how to keep it alive. So all you need is half a cup of plain yogurt, but it must say on the label that it has active live cultures, because that's what it's all about. And then to that we're going to add 2/3 of a cup of lukewarm water. You can use Greek yogurt for this, but if you do, you should whisk it so that it's nice and smooth. But this is just plain yogurt, and it's mixing in very nicely. Then we add half a cup of whole wheat flour and 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And we're just going to combine these. You could do it in a glass or a ceramic bowl, but I'm doing it in this one so that you can watch it grow, which is going to be kind of cool. You want to mix it well, make sure the moisture goes all the way through, and that it's well incorporated. The trickiest part about making a starter is where to put it while you're letting it develop. It has to be in a draft-free space, a place where the temperature doesn't fluctuate a lot. And in my house, that's kind of hard to do in the winter because it's a drafty old house. But I think I found a good spot. Where you could put it is in your oven. So make sure the oven is off, put it inside the oven and turn the light on. And that'll keep it like probably just the right temperature to facilitate the growth of your sourdough starter. All right, this is well mixed. And you can see it looks like a loose dough. That's all going to change in 24 hours. So I'm just going to scrape down the sides, and the reason you want to do that is I have learned from experience that if anything is left on the sides, you have to take a hammer and chisel to wash it off. And I'm going to cover it with a clean dish towel and put it in that draft-free space and leave it for 24 hours. The fermentation process begins in the first 24 hours. After the first 24 hours, you'll notice air bubbles developing on the surface. It'll be a little thick like cake batter and a little elastic. Now that you've created a living thing, you have to feed it. Add 3/4 of a cup of lukewarm water, half a cup of whole wheat flour, and 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Then stir to combine. On the 3rd and 4th days, you'll discard half of your starter because it's not ready to use, and then feed the remaining amount the same way you did on day 2. Well, it's day 5, and that means your starter is ready to use. All your tender loving care has paid off. If you're going to use it today, feed it about 2 hours before you plan on baking, and then take away the portion that your recipe calls for. Take the remaining portion, put it in its special place, and continue every day or two to divide it and feed it. A few notes: while you're developing your starter, if it gets kind of a dry crust on the top, that's not a problem. It will rehydrate every time you feed it. If discarding half of your starter breaks your heart, you can look on the internet. There are uses for it. You can make all kinds of things like waffles and English muffins or popovers. Better yet, after day 5, when you divide it, give that divided portion to somebody who loves to bake, because that part is ready and they can use it to start their own starter. As long as they keep feeding it, it will live on forever. And honestly, there are families who hand down their starters, and some of them have their grandmother's starter from 15, 20 years ago. True story. So now that you have your starter, what will you make with yours? Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell, because one day soon we're going to make one of these and you're not going to want to miss it.